Vocation are back for another bite of the cherry, but today is no day for IPA. Yes, so we're finally on to episode 7 of the series, which means all 6 of the true IPAs are done. And we're on to the wildcards, starting here with Vocation's Divide and Conquer, a New England Pale Ale. Contrary to popular belief, New England actually isn't its own state in the US. It's a region in the northeast of the USA, comprising of 6 individual states. They are Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. That's your geography fact of the week. You're welcome. Divide and Conquer. It's a 5% New England Pale Ale, so a much lower ABV than you would get from your standard India Pale Ale, but definitely interesting to try as a wild card and to give you guys an option away from India Pale Ale and an option into a new array of beers. Let's try it. But before we do that, look how pretty this box is. The blues, the blacks, it's a sublime feat of advertising engineering. Or it could just be a cool looking box. You decide. So the can for Divide and Conquer, very similar to what we saw from Life and Death earlier in the series. It's actually a wrap around a silver standard foil. It's quite nice. And again, I love the colour scheme. It's just such a nice mix of blacks and blues. Maybe I'm romanticising it a bit too much. But it does look nice, doesn't it? Come on. Before I taste, got to read the synopsis on this one. Crushing blows of Mosaic and Simcoe hit hard with the notes of pineapple, passion fruit, and pine for an uncompromising juiciness and a haze that won't quit. Character this strong will always split opinion. I am really looking forward to this. Let's get tasting. I can actually taste the pineapple that was listed in the synopsis on the back of the can there. You can tell it's a lower ABV drink versus the pale ales, but that's no bad thing. It's tasty, refreshing, and has that haze to it that you get from the New England and the hazy ales that you see in the market away from the standard IPAs. So really happy with that. A nice taste, nice design. We're doing well so far. So what do we score Vocation's Divide and Conquer? Bearing in mind, it's not a traditional IPA, so it's difficult for me to compare the 6 I tried earlier in the series. But it's also important to note this is a wildcard. It's an option away from IPAs, and it's an option to consider if, like me, you think this is a great tasting beer. But first, branding and originality. Love the branding on Vocation. Originality of the can's very, very good. Can't really go wrong in terms of a score here, so it's got to be a 5 out of 5. I love the blues, love the blacks, love the messaging and the different names that Vocation have for their drinks. It's important to point out this is not an IPA, it's a New England Pale Ale, so it has its own flavour combination. However, it tastes great. Probably not the best thing I've tasted so far this series, but definitely stands on its own as a key contender, and for that reason, 4 out of 5 for taste. Overall brand message. Now I'm looking here at the whole Vocation brand and what they stand for. And they stand for originality for sure, which I've already given them a 5 out of 5 for. In terms of the overall brand message, it's very strong from Vocation. And I would like to see more of a backstory to their brand in terms of their origin and something about how they were founded on the can itself. So for that reason, it's a 4 out of 5, but no skin off their nose really, because this is a great ale and a great brand with some good ideas. Divide and Conquer, here's a division for you, 13 over 15. It's a great ale, definitely a different option versus your standard IPAs, and something you should definitely consider. Thumbs up from me, looking forward to seeing how this stacks up in a taste test versus one of the better IPAs we've tried so far.